In a world where distractions are endless and every moment is filled with choices, the one thing that brings clarity and focus to our lives is routine. We often think of routines as rigid or monotonous, but in reality, they are the key to unlocking our full potential. The mind, when left to wander aimlessly, can become scattered, unfocused, and overwhelmed. But when you introduce routine into your life, you create a system that channels your energy and sharpens your focus. The mind submits to routine, and it is through this submission that we build discipline, master our goals, and achieve greatness. Pain is the currency of growth, not talent, not luck, not comfort. Pain. Pain is the price you pay to evolve. Every ounce of progress, physical, mental, emotional, has a cost, and that cost is paid in sweat, struggle, and sacrifice. It's not poetic, it's brutal. Growth doesn't happen in soft places. Growth doesn't care how you feel. Growth demands something from you, and it demands pain. You want to build a stronger body, good. Then you're going to tear muscle fibers, burn lungs, feel your heart pound like it's trying to break out of your chest. You'll ache when you walk, your hands will bleed, your joints will scream, and you'll keep going. Not because it's fun, but because pain is the process. You want to build a sharper mind, then get ready to sit in silence, in boredom, in discomfort. Get ready to do the hard thinking when your brain wants to check out. Study when others sleep. Read when others scroll. Work when others play. You'll wrestle with doubt, with fear, with the voice in your head telling you to quit. That voice never goes away. You just get better at ignoring it. Pain is the great purifier. It strips away weakness. It reveals what you're made of. It introduces you to yourself. When everything is easy, you don't learn who you are. But in the pain, that's where the truth lies. You'll meet the real version of you, not the one you pretend to be online, not the one who talks big, but the one who shows up when everything hurts. Pain isn't something to be avoided. It's something to be respected, welcomed, because it's not your enemy, it's your training partner. Every champion, every warrior, every high-level performer has made peace with pain. They don't flinch. They lean in. You'll see people chasing shortcuts, looking for hacks, trying to skip the hard parts. They'll plateau, they'll break, because the shortcut is always an illusion. There's no growth without pain. There's no strength without struggle. You pay now or you stay weak forever, and pain doesn't just build muscle or mental toughness. It builds character, it builds humility. It teaches discipline, patience, resilience. It teaches you how to keep moving forward when nothing in you wants to. That's where real confidence comes from, not from talking, but from surviving. Pain is the test. It's the filter. Most people run from it. But the few, the dangerous few, embrace it. And those few, they're the ones who rise. Motivation is fleeting. It comes like a spark. Bright, intense, but temporary. It's the rush you feel after watching a motivational video, hearing a speaker, or reading something that gets your blood pumping. You feel it, you want to act on it, you're ready to conquer the world. But where does that energy go when the initial excitement fades? Motivation disappears, the fire dies down, and then you're left with nothing. Discipline, on the other hand, is different. Discipline doesn't rely on how you feel. It's not something that comes and goes based on your mood or the weather. Discipline is a decision. It's the commitment you make to show up day in and day out, whether you feel like it or not. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when every fiber of your being tells you to quit. While motivation might give you the initial push, discipline keeps you moving when that initial energy fades away. When you rely on motivation, you're playing a game of chance. You're at the mercy of your emotions, and emotions are unpredictable. One day, you might be fired up and ready to take on the world. The next, you might feel drained, defeated, or disinterested. Motivation can't be counted on in the long term. It's the fuel that burns out quickly. But discipline is a steady, unwavering force. It's the habit that takes over when motivation fades. Discipline is the reason you wake up at 5 a.m. for that workout even though your bed feels like heaven. It's why you push through the 100th push-up when your body is screaming for rest. It's why you keep studying, grinding, hustling, even when you'd rather be doing anything else. Discipline is what separates the winners from the dreamers. Dreamers talk a big game. They're full of ideas and plans, always inspired, always motivated. But when it comes time to do the work, they're nowhere to be found. Winners, on the other hand, have built their success on a foundation of discipline. They don't rely on feelings or excitement. They rely on the simple, unwavering principle of doing what needs to be done. No excuses, no shortcuts. Discipline is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you're not the most talented, not the smartest, not the most gifted. Discipline can level the playing field. While others sleep in, waste time, or procrastinate, you're putting in the work. While others get distracted by short-term pleasures, you're focused on the long-term goals. And over time, that consistency compounds. Success isn't built on the adrenaline rush of a fleeting motivational moment. It's built on the thousands of small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every single day. Every workout, every study session, every early morning. These things don't get celebrated in the moment, but over time they build an unshakable foundation. And discipline isn't just about getting the job done. It's about training your mind. It's about mastering your impulses. It's about creating habits that keep you on the path, even when the path is difficult or unglamorous. Discipline is what keeps you focused when distractions tempt you, what keeps you moving forward when obstacles arise. When motivation fades, discipline doesn't hesitate. It keeps you in motion, driving you toward your goals, whether the world is cheering you on or no one is watching at all. The connection between physical strength and mental clarity is undeniable, yet often underestimated. Too many people separate the two, thinking that the body's development is distinct from the mind's growth. But the truth is, your physical state directly impacts your mental state. The stronger your body becomes, the more your mind sharpens. It's not a coincidence. It's a powerful synergy that cannot be ignored. When you push your body to its limits, you are not just building muscle or endurance. You are training your brain. Every workout, every intense physical challenge requires you to focus, to endure, and to push through discomfort. And as you do, you build mental fortitude. The process of physical exertion forces your brain to make decisions, manage pain, and focus in ways it doesn't have to in everyday life. This kind of mental training is transferable to all areas of your life. Think about the clarity you feel after a good workout. The endorphins flooding your system, the feeling of accomplishment. It's a rush. Your mind is clearer. You're more alert. Your ability to focus increases. It's because your body has reached a state of peak physical output, and your brain responds. The mental fog lifts. Problems that seemed insurmountable before suddenly appear more manageable. This is not a coincidence. The body, when properly conditioned, acts as a tool to unlock greater cognitive abilities. A strong body also improves your ability to handle stress. Physical training teaches resilience. When you put your body through hardship, whether lifting heavy weights, running sprints, or pushing through a tough yoga session, you learn how to cope with discomfort, and just like physical discomfort, mental stress becomes easier to manage. Your capacity to handle pressure grows exponentially. Instead of running from challenges, you face them head on with a calm, focused mind. The body and mind work in tandem. The strength you develop physically becomes a form of mental armor, helping you navigate life's difficulties with a sharper, more agile mind. Furthermore, regular exercise has been proven to enhance cognitive function. It improves memory, increases creativity, and boosts problem-solving abilities. When you're physically active, blood flow to the brain improves, which increases the flow of oxygen and nutrients. This results in better cognitive performance and sharper decision-making abilities. It's no wonder that many of the world's most successful individuals prioritize their health. They understand that without physical strength, mental performance suffers. A sluggish body often leads to a sluggish mind. The discipline and focus required in building and maintaining a strong body directly translates into improved mental discipline. If you can commit to a consistent fitness regimen, you're also developing the ability to commit to your goals. Stay consistent in your work and maintain focus despite distractions. The drive and determination it takes to get through a tough workout are the same qualities needed to push through the difficulties of life and work. The more you challenge your body, the more capable you become in handling life's mental hurdles. And it's not just about brute strength. Flexibility, mobility, and endurance all have profound impacts on your mental state. These elements of fitness teach you patience, self-awareness, and adaptability. When your body can move freely and easily, your mind becomes less cluttered with distractions and more focused on the present moment. In essence, when you build your body, you are simultaneously building the foundation for a sharper, more resilient mind. The two are intertwined, each feeding into the other, creating a feedback loop that improves every aspect of your life. Your body becomes the engine that drives your mind toward greater performance, greater clarity, and greater success. It's easy to get comfortable. We live in a world where convenience is prioritized, where shortcuts are celebrated, and where the path of least resistance is often the most appealing. But comfort, though it may feel good in the moment, is the silent killer of growth. It's the slow, quiet force that lulls you into complacency and stunts your potential. Comfort doesn't ask you to work hard, it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't push you to become better or stronger. It asks only that you remain in a state of ease, free from hardship or struggle. It whispers that you've earned it, that you've worked hard enough to take a break, to relax, to rest, and for a moment, that feels like victory. But in reality, it's a trap. Comfort is the breeding ground for mediocrity. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you delay your growth. Growth, whether physical or mental, is forged in the fire of discomfort. Your muscles don't grow by staying in a state of relaxation. They grow by being pushed to their limits, torn down, and rebuilt stronger. Similarly, your mind doesn't sharpen by taking the easy road. It sharpens through adversity, through problem solving, through pushing through obstacles when everything inside of you tells you to stop. Comfort is the absence of those challenges, and without challenges, there is no true growth. When you choose comfort, you choose stagnation. You settle into patterns that feel safe but lead nowhere. You stop learning. You stop improving. Your potential remains untapped, buried under layers of indulgence and inactivity. The more you seek comfort, the less you'll have to show for it. Sure, you might be well rested, but you'll also be weak. Your mind will become dull, your ambition will fade, and in a world that thrives on constant change and competition, complacency becomes a death sentence. Comfort can also be a subtle form of fear. It's a defense mechanism. When you choose comfort, you avoid the discomfort of risk, of failure, of stepping into the unknown. But it's in those moments of discomfort, when you face fear head-on, that you find out what you're really made of. When you push past your limits, when you feel the sting of exhaustion or doubt, you discover your true strength. Comfort shields you from these experiences, but at the cost of your growth. Consider the greatest achievements in history. Every major leap forward, whether it's in science, business, or personal development, has been the result of someone stepping out of their comfort zone. Innovators, athletes, and entrepreneurs didn't get to where they are by playing it safe. They got there by taking risks, by challenging the status quo, by making themselves uncomfortable in order to reach new heights. In a world that offers constant distractions, entertainment, and an endless array of ways to escape discomfort, it takes an extraordinary level of discipline to reject the allure of comfort. But if you want to be exceptional, if you want to achieve something great, you must learn to embrace discomfort as a constant companion. Push through the pain, the exhaustion, the doubt. It's only through this struggle that you'll build the resilience necessary to succeed. Comfort is the enemy because it robs you of the very things you need to evolve. It stops you from reaching your full potential. It shackles you to mediocrity, and in doing so, it holds you back from greatness. The sooner you recognize comfort for what it truly is, the sooner you can step into the discomfort that will forge you into a stronger, sharper, and more successful version of yourself. In a world filled with distractions, chaos, and endless choices, the mind seeks structure. It craves routine even when we don't consciously acknowledge it. The mind is a powerful tool, but it's also malleable and susceptible to habits, both good and bad. Left unchecked, it can wander aimlessly, lost in procrastination, doubt, and distractions. But when you introduce routine into your life, you create a framework within which the mind can thrive. Routine is the anchor that tethers your thoughts, your actions, and your focus. The beauty of routine lies in its simplicity. It takes the guesswork out of the day, providing a predictable structure that the mind can latch onto. A set schedule removes the need for constant decision making, freeing up mental energy for more important tasks. The less you need to decide, the more you can focus on the things that truly matter. When you build habits, whether it's a morning workout, a focused work period, or a nightly meditation session, you condition your mind to expect and submit to these rhythms. Routine establishes a sense of control. When life feels chaotic or unpredictable, the mind begins to feel unsettled. But when you set a routine, you regain that sense of mastery over your day. The mind likes predictability. It likes knowing what's coming next. With each action taken consistently, the brain starts to wire itself for success. The body and mind become in sync, operating on autopilot, with minimal effort required to maintain momentum. Without routine, the mind becomes erratic. It is constantly seeking stimulation, constantly jumping from one idea to another, never truly diving deep into any one thing. The flood of options and distractions overwhelms it. Routine, however, guides the mind back to the tasks that matter. When you develop a routine, you teach the brain to prioritize, to focus, and to tackle challenges in a systematic way. It becomes a kind of mental discipline, a pattern that directs the mind, making it easier to stay on track even when external circumstances try to pull you off course. A well-structured routine also reduces mental fatigue. The energy required to make decisions throughout the day can be draining, and without routine, we often waste energy on trivial choices: what to eat, when to start working, how to handle distractions. But when you build a routine, these decisions are already made. You simply follow the path that has been set. This allows your mind to work on higher-level functions, like creativity, problem-solving, and strategic thinking, rather than being bogged down by the mental load of managing every detail. The routine doesn't have to be rigid or overly demanding. In fact, it's about finding balance. A morning routine might involve waking up at the same time, having a cup of coffee, and spending a few minutes planning the day. A work routine could include setting specific hours for focused work, taking regular breaks, and prioritizing tasks. The key is consistency. When the mind gets used to a schedule, it submits to it more easily. It stops resisting and starts to align itself with the flow of daily life. Moreover, routines build momentum. They turn effort into automaticity. Once a task becomes part of your routine, the mental resistance to starting it diminishes. Your mind expects it, so it's less likely to procrastinate. The repetitive nature of a routine reinforces your commitment, creating a cycle of productivity that strengthens over time. The more you repeat positive actions, the easier it becomes to sustain them, creating long, lasting results. The mind is a powerful tool, but it thrives on structure. By submitting to routine, you create a foundation that allows you to operate with purpose and precision every day. When you embrace routine, you stop wasting mental energy on trivial decisions and start putting your focus where it matters most. Your mind, once chaotic and unorganized, becomes a powerhouse of productivity, creativity, and focus. The power is in your hands. All it takes is the commitment to build a routine that works for you. And watch as your mind transforms, becoming the driving force behind your success.